Here we go. Okay. How to answer my favorite system design question? Design Spotify. Any good system design question should reveal a lot about a candidate understanding architecture and inner working of large scale system. The question should be complex enough to engage the candidate and allow them to demonstrate their skill for building web skill services, but not so complex that the interview feel overwhelmed. When I interviewed software candidate at Facebook and Microsoft, I wasn't just looking for strong coding skill and software skill of domestic alignment with the company values. I was looking for a candidate who could design a software system that meet requirement, explain the system architecture trade-offs, and deep dive into area of specialization like API design or recommendation engine. This post aims to introduce to audience. Interviewers, senior software engineers, and engineering managers should get an idea how to conduct a system design interview and evaluate candidate. Candidate engineers should learn what is expected for system design interview, how to prepare, and how to approach the conversation. My first SRD question is to ask something along with the lines design a music streaming like Spotify. Streaming services for music and video are a great system for understanding a candidate through process and technique acumen. This apparently flashly and interesting but still demand a sufficient level of forethought and scalability. Familiarity. The majority of streaming services should be familiar to candidate at least on the user side. It is important for a system design question to be acknowledge or product that are widely used. To start up briefly explain the general hierarchy of SW seniority. Then we will discuss the requirement of the system and how candidates should approach this kind of question in the interview. System design interview determine SW into seniority. System design is one of the key determining factor in the filtering software engineering different level of seniority. I have seen candidates that apply to senior engineering position will be swiftly down leveled because of their few technical oversight in the system design. To measure definition at large fall somewhere between E4 and E6. I briefly cover what is expected out of a candidate at each of this level. At a level, all this level engineer have a narrow focus on few different software components and how they interact with each other. Senior, they have a more holistic view of software system. Therefore, they working on can describe various scenarios from end to end. They can explain how each scenario and execute give concrete example and offer them to resiliency of a system. Staff engineer at the level of capable of everything mentioned above, but they also monitor the software system over the capture of entire while considering the architecture ability to sustain and support growth. They plan how a system involve and scale it. Down leveling though, if you prepared, you find to yourself being offered a position more senior than the role you apply. Design a Spotify. For a question, I asked the candidate to design using a streaming platform like Spotify or Apple Music. It briefly explain the requirement of the system below. But we will outline how to approach the conversation in the next section. Functional requirement. A user should be able to stream music. The system should store and archive music sorted by artist and album. The database of the song should be searchable. Non-functional requirement in streaming should be very low latency. Music should begin playing with them within of a user pressing play. The system should support a capacity of 100 minutes. So how to answer this question? Well, an interview is not expecting exactly correct answer that corresponds. There is in fact no right answer. Instead, they want to be comprehension of the problem at hand. A good interview will lead to a conversant and comfortable walkthrough of their assumption, calculation, and trade-off and design. Some of the best advice can give to both interviewer and interviewers pertain to asking question. It's great if candidate ask all the qualifying question they need to when posed with the problem, but ultimately the interviewer should provide a guiding end. If a candidate fail to ask a crucial question, the interviewer should let them lead the conversation astray. If you are interview be sure by reveal key expectation and assumption of a problem, even if interview doesn't know to ask for them. Clarifying question when designing any large scale distributed system, there need to be a large range of clarified questions that a candidate should be asked. The question should about designing Spotify range from basic to advanced. The interview should have an idea of what SUV and interview just based on the clarified question they asked you. How big is the music repository? The extent of the music most music streaming plot 100 million songs. We answered this already when talking about the non-functional requirement, but in some cases this information won't afford immediately. How frequently is repo updated every week? How many user does the service have? There are 100 million of user, but there are more patent follow-up question that a skilled candidate will really hard to ask. How many concurrent user are there? This is a question that really matter when it comes to system design. Even if a candidate doesn't ask it, the interviewer should give them a hint that they should have expect average of 5 million active user with a peak traffic above around 10 million active user. For concurrent user, they how many streaming using? A following question that is again okay to develop over prompt. On average, about 80% of TV user will be streaming user, remaining 60 sticking on a low load activity like browsing and managing their playlist. These are not only questions that are relevant to designing stuff Spotify, but also provide a great foundation for conversation to come. After the round of clarifying question, hopefully the candidate is a little more comfortable and interview has some more initial notes as to how to expect the candidate to proceed. A high level design conversation. At the point, it should be fairly simple to come up with a high level design of workflow system. A user make a search induction, pause data. The system return a page of research result. The user click on a file. The moving start. The real meat of the problem comes from designing the system of low latency. Nice number. When picking a number of an estimation, it was to stuck 5s and 10s. Otherwise, you back napkin calculation. More about you're doing great school math and less about designing the system at the hand. Storage consideration. Assuming that your average song is 5 minutes and take about 5 MB of storage, you can how much storage will take a 100 minutes song. Okay, when just this number we can saying that 5500 TV of storage this data to the candidate should build upon the assumption it is important instrumentable copies of the data so that the songs will always be available in the failure of system. The industry standard is replicate data 3 times so that the replication the storage total storage a really strong candidate ES6 level is or equivalent may require that the system not only need to replicate data but create a key file of different qualities, much like a video streaming service, music streaming service also allow you to stream different quality based on their network connection and individual preference. If a user is driving through a place where Spotify and they should still be able to streaming with just a lower quality. uh, for a simplicity sake we can say that their low latency file are 1 MB per song and the high quality files are 10 MB per song. With these added provision the required storage around 5000 TV. Multimedia is not only data consideration, however a candidate should be sure include metadata. On the music side, artist name and bios, album cover, album name, song title and potentially lyrics, but the system should store user metadata as well. Given the number of user metadata add up and the ultimately take up a significant amount of space, metadata also mean the demand storage location, then multimedia data and will affect the high level design component that are necessary. Design of low latency. Given the assumption that the average song is around 5 MB and average connection reaches speed to 3-5 meters, it would take around 8 seconds to download I-85 MB. This is significantly longer than 200. How candidate tackle this problem will likely reveal the most about the individual skill. The key data the candidate should get is that system will have a chunk song buffer there loud. The system should be able to rapidly download the first couple seconds of song and then use a playback of those seconds to download more and more song. If the device is able to download keep playing the song almost intensely. Then, while the first few seconds are playing, the system can download the next chunk of song. After 10 seconds, the system will have a complete song. Really talented candidate will often highlight the possibility of using on the time spent listening to catch in the next couple of songs in the queue. In doing so, we can create a better user experience if they decide to skip a song or two. Don't trust your analysis of how to design system, but having extra time to expand upon your estimate can be extremely helpful for both of you interview. If you find up the extra time, take initiative and discuss relevant design, especially that align with your interest and area of specialty. For example, design sportive problems arise to home in an area of how to build a search box, adaptive streaming, API design, API calls, recommendation engine for machine learning content delivering network studio, A content delivery network is a crucial to ensure load latency for a global system, especially one that is data intensive. It is important to have a node that is physically close to geographical significant. For example, two-way latency from Virginia, California, and back to around. Say that was the U.S. East Cape Town, South Africa, 2 to 5. Our system may allow music to start playing within minutes within, but only if user is close to main node of system. Counting to for travel add up additional layer of complexity to our non-functional recording. To ensure a positive user experience, we need a CDN to minimize response by optimizing delivering of data based on location. To set up a CDN, we need a hand to routing service that direct CDM will CDM will also need to consider an API design of system, web servers, or load balancer. Will need a content delivery network is a complex system of nature. If you're interested in driving more in a factor, say the lesson designing content delivery for our course, interviewing the manager, how to succeed in next system design event, regardless if you're engineering. How to succeed in next design. Regardless of your engineering manager conducting round of interview or fresh developer gearing of interview for first week company, you should understand exactly the role of system design interview. There are a lot of shit about how to well in the West ship. I have to spend an adequate amount of time practicing system design or simple task, not something you just improve on my spot during preparation in activity. Keep this piece of advice in mind. Ask clarifying question and state assumption. Discuss develop data structure and a plan of scalability for interview. We engage in the conversation and try to help a candidate along. Even if they aren't asking right question, don't let them fall down the other interview. You can help guide them. Possible for good candidate will get frustrated and need some time to wrap up and get over. Here are a couple of questions, but evaluate a candidate on their interview performance without letting the system experience get in the way. Let them take the conversion where they feel more comfortable. Front end developer will probably bend of APIs while machine learning engineering have to show up their recommendation engine skill. Both are highly relevant in the system. It will help you determine the best fit for a long run. If you're looking for a prepared version, that was good one, bro. Mm, what engineer need to know how to design new and old? Let's see this one. Twitter has been under microscope of Elon Musk acquisition. Under changing management and reduced stuff, Twitter intended to strengthen their timeline service workflow. With all focus on changing leadership, I became more interested in accept Twitter engines. The post will be dive in proposed change in Twitter system design. If you are curious how this changes, I started covering Twitter conversion at in depth. We will cover the timeline, service onboarding, people discovery, and mixing. We will store marathon tweet ranking service. Afterward, we will go through the plant changing system, what they are and how they help. The biggest and most notable change is transition new timeline mixer called home mixer. This come up along with updated more detailed information about the system design building block like Manhattan, a Kivule store, Twitter current system and other data. Let let's see what can we read, what we can read. Okay. It's about system design. System design is mainly about the best way to learn by doing addictive project. Trader can develop web component by using Phoenix, Libya, Croton, manage handwritten digit using deep neural network. Task. Let's see this one. It is all about how we can. It's my TV digital recognize the blood image. My phone says but it's not a computer. So you're gonna try to download and load desktop learn network. Well, model calculate cross company at product level. That's about a congratulations. Oh, deep learning beginner. Advanced deep learning and applied machine learning deep learning industry. Good, good. Integrated Redux, Frontix, front end template. Switch integrate Google search engine API with Flask application or never. Handle as well. Find the inner product of the quantum study test. Good, good, good. Think that's for today. We'll meet you tomorrow. Thank you.